Welcome to Turku, Finland. Finland, the host country for the World Hockey Championships. Today, Canada takes on Latvia.
It is over. Canada, world champions.
Those are words Team Canada has not heard much of in the last decade. Despite Canada's hockey success, gold medals at the World Championships have been elusive over the last 10 years. Only two, 94 and 97. But after a dominant 3-0 win over Belarus in their opener yesterday, Canada is looking to take another run once again for gold. It's game 2 from Finland at the Worlds. Canada, Latvia next. Maybe the most boisterous fans in Finland, the Latvians. Listen to what they're playing. You're playing Canada, not the United States. America, the beautiful.
That is the band you had at your wedding, isn't it? That was the band that played at your wedding.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to our coverage of the IIHF World Hockey Championships. Along with Terry Crisp, I'm Rod Black. A good start for Canada. 3-0 over Belarus yesterday. 24 hours later, they play against a team they met on Wednesday in Riga in an exhibition game.
And probably the biggest thing was that they had a 5-3 game, and not overly impressive on it, but they know what they have to do against this team. The one thing about Latvia are they will be physical. They will come at them.
Not many surprises yesterday with the exception of one, a shocker. Denmark beating the United States. The Americans outshot the Danes 55-22, but lost 5-2. Everything else went according to script. Czech Republic over Slovenia 5-2. You see that Canada score. Sweden beating Latvia 3-1 yesterday. Russia over Switzerland 5-2. That appeared to be the score of the day. And Finland over Austria 5-1. Here's who's playing today. Canada, Latvia, the Americans against the Swiss. Now a must-win, you got to think. Germany, Japan, Denmark. Can they keep the miracle run going? They play Russia, Ukraine, Slovakia, the defending world champions. Sweden will play Belarus. That's a rematch of that quarterfinal at the Olympics last year when Belarus won. And Peter Forsberg will play for Sweden today. Mats Sundin will not. Let's go to Turku now. The guys who will call it, Dave Randorf and Gary Green.
Thanks a lot, Rod. Another windy, blustery day here in southwestern Finland, and it's game number 2 for Team Canada in the preliminary round. Yesterday was a relatively easy 3-0 victory over Belarus. Today it's Latvia. Another game Canada is expected to win. Greener?
Well, they are expected to win, but then again, this Latvian team should be a very energized team today, especially because of the crowd. These Latvians have been partying for about 48 hours straight, as you can probably see and hear here. But when it comes to Canada, they've got their own motivation today. The motivation is that, first of all, they only beat Latvia 5-3 in an exhibition game, and Latvia scored the first goal. The other thing is that the Latvian coach, Kurt Lidström, formerly the coach, the national coach of both Sweden and Finland, coaching here in the Worlds, said last night that he didn't think Canada was a very good team. That should motivate the Canadian players a little bit.
Lineup note for Team Canada. Roberto Luongo will start in goal. Sean Burke gets the day off in the back-to-back games. And Corey Cross and Steve Reinprecht are now here, and they will be in the lineup as well. Get your air horns out. It should be wild today. Rod?
Well, Latvia had best be a better hockey team than that band we heard. We'll find out. Latvia and Team Canada, day 2 at the Worlds, coming up next on TSN. You got to be kidding me. Oh, I hope he gets a better seat than that. I like these Latvian fans. Might be a little well lubricated. Team Canada was well oiled going into yesterday's game, as in Edmonton Oilers. That line that used to play for Edmonton with Anson Carter and Mike Comrie, Ryan Smith. Anson Carter playing with the Rangers now, but paid big dividends yesterday against Belarus, a team that pulled off that shocker last year at the Winter Olympics. Pretty good hockey team. Ryan Smith, Comrie with the shot early on, Smith the rebound. Belarus playing a rope-a-dope style, as Terry Crisp likes to say. And later in the first period, Danny Heatley. Shot comes right here from the point. Heatley right there, another rebound goal on the doorstep. So The Thrasher makes it 2-0. No scoring in the second period. Belarus played it tight, had a couple of good chances, and then another Oiler. Mike Comrie on the off wing. Watch this one. It's a beauty. Upstairs. 3-0 Canada. That's the way it ended because Sean Burke shut the door. Shutout for Team Canada. 3-0 in the opener. And Canada and Sweden with the win yesterday over Latvia, so they lead their Pool C. And we'll see what happens today. Of course, Canada playing against Latvia. We do know one player for sure from this Latvian team. That's Arturs Urbe.
That one we do know, Rod, simply because last year he took the Carolina team right to the finals, did a great job. Now, I wouldn't want to have to pronounce the rest of the names on this Latvian hockey club, mind you. You and I were going over this morning. Dave and Greener, good luck out there. The other guy I do know, number 7 on defense, Scrastinch. Watch this guy. He loves to play the body. Our starting goalies today, Arturs Urbe for Latvia. And also for Team Canada, it is not Sean Burke today, but it will be Roberto Luongo. Starting goalies brought to you by Chevrolet. Proud to support Canadian men's hockey through sponsorship of the World Hockey Championships. Visit us at gmcanada.com. Puck drop is next from the Worlds. In a couple hours, Air Canada Cup National Midget Championship from the Sioux on TSN. It's Calgary and Yorkton in the final. It's Canada and Latvia. Game 2 at the Worlds. A couple of new players today for Canada and a different starting netminder. Let's go to Turku now. Here's Dave Randorf and Gary Green.
Thank you very much, Rod Black. And good morning, everyone. Coast to coast back home in Canada, where it's real early out there on the West Coast. We're glad you're starting your Sunday with us here in Finland. Game 2 for Canada in the preliminary round. It's loud in here, great atmosphere, not full, but the Latvian fans have become famous for making an awful lot of noise, Gary Green, and they're going to be doing that today.
Well, it used to be the Finns and the Swedes that were the loudest fans, and they are still loud at World Championship. But the Latvians have taken over. They truly have taken over. They love their hockey. They love their Latvian team. And boy, do they ever party hard. And before and after the game, win or lose.
Just going over the lineups here with the referee, who's a German official, Wilhelm Schim. And then we'll be underway here at the Elysee Arena in Turku. Yesterday, as we've been telling you, Canada opened up with a 3-0 victory over Belarus. Latvia last night lost to Sweden here. And I guess the big story there in terms of Latvia was they did not give the start to Arturs Urbe, Greener. They gave it to the backup. However, Urbe, the 12-year NHL veteran's in there today against a lot of shooters he knows very well.
Well, Arturs Urbe had a very disappointing year, as we all know, in Carolina. He only played in 34 games, but he had a 3.18 goals against average. His save percentage was a dreadful .877. But he can wipe the slate clean coming into the World Championship. He could have a good World Championship and then kind of redeem himself. But it was a difficult season for Arturs Urbe after such a spectacular season the year previous, going to the Stanley Cup Finals.
We're ready to go here in Turku. Canada starts a line of Chris Draper in the middle between Kirk Maltby and Shane Doan, who has the puck right now and gains the zone for Canada. Takes it into the corner where it's taken away. Cyprus for Latvia. Swings it around the far side. Maltby meets it there. In the corner it goes. Maltby's in there with Doan. Here's Draper back of the net trying to center it. And Doan was just a step too late, and Latvia gets it out. Number 24 for Canada is Steve Staios touching up there. We have icing.
Well, most of these Canadian players have a pretty good idea of what to expect from this Latvian team. Canada, prior to coming to Finland here for the Worlds, spent some time in Latvia. They played an exhibition game there, of which Canada won 5-3. They were also treated to some Latvian cooking and a real fine reception. And actually, these two teams flew here together on the Latvian private charter.
Mike Comrie wins that draw, gets it back to the line where Jay Bomeister puts one just wide of the target. Mike Comrie out there with Ryan Smith and Anson Carter, a line that looks pretty good against Belarus. Comrie tried to break in there, but couldn't find the handle. This is Tambios for Latvia, trying to find Semyonovs on the right wing. Semyonovs, number 27, is knocked down by Jay Bomeister. Here's Comrie down low. strips his man of the puck, and Ryan Smith is going to start out with it. Ryan Smith, who had a goal yesterday against Belarus, flips it in there, tries to keep it in at the line. Wearing the C once again for Team Canada is Ryan Smith, the Edmonton Oilers veteran. He's immediately tied up by Carlos Skrastins, one of the 2 NHLers that the Latvians have on their roster today. Skrastins of the Nashville Predators, of course. Here's Kyle Calder for Canada. Lead pass for Chris Kalanos. Tips it up ahead for Sean Horkoff. He couldn't reach it. It came outside the line. Offside is the call.
Well, Canada will try to get their legs early in this first period. They had a rather disappointing second period yesterday. They got business done, and they ended up winning the hockey game, but they didn't exactly play a good 60 minutes. That was game 1. They got the win, and so today they have to improve upon that.
Well, apparently the Latvian head coach agreed with you. Wasn't a great 60 minutes by Canada.
Well, I can understand where Kurt Lidstrom was coming from, but he referred to the team not being a very good team.
Here's Calder, bars it in there. Muscling off his man, keeps it deep. Round the boards it goes along the end boards, and Kalanos meets it far side. Try to get it to the point for Corey Cross, who's in the lineup today, wearing number 23 for Canada. And a penalty is coming up. This one is going to go against Latvia, against Vyacheslav Panduls. Or at least he was the guy complaining about it. It's actually going to go against Romanovsky's number 24 right there.
Well, Canada will get their opportunity here, and we'll see whether or not they move the puck around a little bit better than they did yesterday. This first 5-man unit has Reinprecht on it, and Reinprecht, of course, just arrived yesterday afternoon. He did not dress in the game against Belarus. He and Corey Cross both arrived yesterday and are playing their first game here with Canada today.
Steve Reinprecht, in his second full season with the Colorado Avalanche, had a career year with 51 points. Career highs and assists as well, along with 18 goals. And he is out there up front along with Patrick Marleau. And Daniel Briere has got the puck now. Here's Briere leaving it for Reinprecht. Into the middle now. Here's a chance. They hold it. Scores! Danny Heatley goes top shelf. A power play goal for Canada. 2:25 in, and it's 1-0.
Arthur Urbe has seen this man before. For only his couple of years that he's played the National Hockey League, Danny Heatley has become extremely good at the offensive game. What a great pass here. First of all, it was Briere that just flew right up the ice, right straight through the neutral zone. He had great puck possession entering the offensive zone, and then just continued there with a great pass over to Reinprecht, who then responded with another great pass and over to Heatley.
Here's another rush coming in there. Shot by Bomeister, another one right on target. Urbe holds that. There's a faceoff coming up in the Latvia zone. 1-0 Canada on the power play goal by Danny Heatley, his second of the tournament. Here's another look.
Well, there you see Heatley. He didn't have an awful lot of room. I'll tell you, Arthur Urbe is not a very big goaltender. When Arthur Urbe goes down, as he did, in that crouch position, and then he just gave up way too much room. That was almost an impossible angle that Heatley scored from.
So much skill, 41 more goals this season for Heatley in Atlanta. The Edmonton unit is back out there, even though Anson Carter no longer plays for the Oilers. We'll call it that for namesake anyway. Comrie, Smith, and Carter. Jamie Hewer's wearing number 6. He gets back into the lineup after making his debut for Canada yesterday in this championship. And out comes Carlos Skrastins with a pass up to Spruce. Janis Spruce, who played for the Acadie Bathurst Titan this season. He's hauled down, and a power play coming up for Latvia. They'll have the man advantage when we come back to Finland. Power play underway in the Canadian zone. Skrastins with it back at the Latvian point, dishes it off to Tambios. Tambios near side, number 14 for Latvia, moves back to the point, steps in, gets it back for Skrastins, one-timer right on, and Roberto Luongo is forced to make his first save of the hockey game.
And the Detroit duo of Maltby and Draper are out there starting things off, killing the penalty. They did that yesterday. They kept that unit together for good reason. They kill penalties together, oftentimes in Detroit. Luongo was able to see that puck, though.
Another draw, won by Latvia. Here's Tempios again, number 14, back to the line. Same play, same shot. That one was deflected into the corner. Chubars gets it far side now to Tribunsos. Tribunsos right back into the corner, was looking for Chubars. He's bumped off the puck. Battle for it in behind Luongo, cleared in front and banked out of danger, and Draper will scoop it out of there for Canada. Tribunsos takes it away from Chris Draper, who will circle back and head to the bench. Shane Doan comes out there along with Sean Horkoff up front, the second penalty-killing forward unit for Canada. And here they come. Here's Shane Doan to center ice with Horkoff. Doan over the line, has it poked away, and they'll have to hustle back into position. Romanovsky's driven into the ice by Matthew Dandino. Latvian fans didn't like that one bit. Down the ice it goes with 45 seconds to go, and the penalty to Eric Brewer. This is Fanduels now. The Latvian captain carrying it over the line, dishes it off near side to Pantelejevs. Pantelejevs waiting for something to develop. 30 seconds to go in the power play. Gets it down low to Romanovskis. Fanduels back to the line now. Sorokins is at the far point. So is Lavins. Lavin switches sides now. This is Fanduels, the captain, down low to Romanovskis. Dying seconds here of the power play for Latvia. They keep it in there. Sorokins into the middle. It's cut off by Horkoff and outletted to Anson Carter. And this will do it for the Latvian power play.
A couple of Latvian players that they were expecting here, Sergei Zoltak and Sandis Ozolic. Well, they're not here, and for good reason. Both the Minnesota Wild and the Anaheim Mighty Ducks are continuing into the playoffs.
Nishiva's dancing in there. This is Maciejewski's. His shot is deflected up into the net. Yeah, how about Sandis Ozolic and the Anaheim Mighty Ducks? Another win in overtime. Well, maybe not every Latvian jersey you see here, but most of them have number 8 on the back of them, with Ozolic along the back. He is a very, very popular player amongst the fans here.
Canada might be getting a warning here. In fact, that's exactly what's happening. They're getting a warning because they're taking too much time on their change. So Andy Murray's been given one warning. The next time he will be given a 2-minute delay of the game penalty.
They settle in for the face-off there. Sippers loses it to Canada at back of his own net. Starting out or leaving it was Steve Stales. Picking it up back there is Draper. Draper with a head of steam over the line. Fires one right on, and Urbe had to be careful with that as he snagged it with a glove.
Well, really the hope of the Latvian team in ever upsetting Canada or any of the other premier teams is for Arthur Zerbe now to play extremely well. I would assume that you'll see Arthur Zerbe, provided that he plays well today, in the majority of the remainder of the games.
Draper, Maltby, Doan back out there for Canada. Here's Brewer dancing out in front. Has Doan in the slot. Here's Maltby. He'll take a shot that's well wide of the mark. Draper keeps it into the far point. He shoots one that was deflected just wide. Stales now steps up, has it poked away by Nishibis. However, Canada regains control in their own zone. Eric Brewer, cross-ice pass for Maltby. He'll leave it for the defenseman Stales, who gets it back across to Brewer. Here's Patrick Marleau. Lead pass rolled off his stick. Danny Heatley trying to dance in. Making some nice moves there on Feldmanis. Needed one more. Briere's in front. Here's Marleau trying to gain some position. Here's Briere coming out of the corner, trying to center it to Heatley. And that was cut off by Tribunsos. Latvia now coming out of their zone. Yanis Brooks sets up Shirakos with a shot, and Luongo makes the save. Roberto Luongo getting the start for Canada today. Most of the load will be carried by Burke, but Luongo looks good early.
Well, Andy Murray said yesterday that there was no question that Sean Burke, who has got a tremendous history of success with Team Canada in international play, would be their #1 goaltender. But when it came to back-to-back games, then he was going to have to use one of his other goaltenders. The two goaltenders, of course, here being Roberto Luongo and Marty Biron's, both seen as backups to that of Sean Burke.
Cross gets it to Carter. Carter's shot just missed. Arthur Zerbe covers up. Face-off coming up when we come back to Turku, Finland. You're watching the Worlds on TSN. Danny Heatley has the goal for Canada. And it's 1-0 here with 7 minutes gone in the first period. Game number 2 of the preliminary round for Team Canada. For both of these teams, there's a great chance right in front for Mike Comrie, who had a goal and an assist yesterday. Played a very good game for Canada against Belarus.
Having coached Team Canada this year in 2 of the international tournaments, I can tell you from a playbook standpoint, Team Canada wants to crash the net. Go to the net early. They want to have a shot mentality. That's part of Team Canada's success this last few years, is making sure that you shoot that puck as often as possible and go to the net.
Comrie centers it for Carter. Nice save in tight quarters by Artur Zerbe. Anson Carter trying to get in front again. Comrie trying to feed him. There's the pass, didn't get through. Smith takes a shot and it's wide. Round the boards it goes. Cross keeps it in, gets it back to Comrie. Comrie with Carter in front. Here's Smith helping out Mike Comrie. He has it taken away by Romanovsky's penalty is coming up. Another call here.
Ryan Smith's going to the penalty box, I believe, this time. He'll get it for tripping or hooking. Ryan Smith working behind the net, trying to create the turnover. And there you see Smith just battling from behind checks. You know, when you see it from that angle, you kind of wonder whether or not it was a hook or trip or it was a rather light call. In fact, you know, it's not Ryan Smith. It's Mike Comrie. So that replay was on Ryan Smith. And for good reason now, I can go back and say it looked like a penalty that probably shouldn't have been on Ryan Smith. Well, because it wasn't.
Comrie is the one who ends up in the box. And for the second time in this period, Latvia goes on the power play. They're 0 for 1, obviously. Tsipras making a dangerous move out of his own zone. Manages to get there. Carlos Skrastins brings it around the boards where it's met there by number 81, Maciejewski. He loses it and Canada takes over. Draper logging a lot of ice time in the early stages of this hockey game. Shoots it down there. Irbe is going to leave it. Here's Igors Tsipras competing in his 9th World Championships. Number 29, he leaves it for Nishivas. Skrastins chips it in. Nishivas chases it into the corner against Craig Rivet. Big size disadvantage there. However, Rivet loses it to Maciejewski. Off the boards, Tsipras trying to knock it down. In fact, it was knocked down with a high stick, and that faceoff is coming out of the zone.
When Canada kills penalties, they would like to be aggressive, but yesterday they found themselves sitting back in the box a great deal. A smaller, disciplined box, making sure that none of the Belarusian players were able to get good shots away from the slot area, and certainly didn't get any rebounds on Sean Burke. And today, Canada looked to be a little bit more aggressive on the penalty kill.
50 seconds to go, and the penalty to Mike Comrie. As Latvia charges out, Tambios gets it wide side to Drabuncos. He fires it right across the goal mouth there. Nobody was home for Latvia. Back to the line for Skrastins. Across to Drabuncos. He's got a lane, takes a shot, and it was deflected off the shins of Steve Reinbrecht up into the netting.
Luongo saw that shot being taken. Then he saw a deflection. He just didn't know where it went from there. There's the shot, and you can see it did deflect right up and over Luongo and right up into the netting.
Roberto Luongo competed at the Worlds in 2001 in Germany before he suffered a hand injury. Scrum off the face-off circle. A battle for it as Dandino is in there against Panteleev, and Canada comes out with it. Corey Cross trying to spring Draper. Trying to split 2 Latvian players. Puts a little pressure on Urbes and leaves it there for Lavins. Sorokins couldn't reach it. Out it comes with just 5 seconds to go on the penalty. Comrie getting set to step out of the box as Lavin lugs it over the blue line. Lavins has it taken away by Draper. Team's back at even strength, 5-on-5. And another power play goes to the wayside for Latvia. Heatley was right in there in cold. Danny Heatley causing some big trouble. Already has 1 goal in this game. Coming close again. Shot fired in. Wide of the target. Latvia had just 15 shots on goal yesterday against Sweden. They chip it in there. Patrick Marleau. Daniel Briere was dumped off his feet. Face-off coming up in the Latvia zone.
Interesting how Heatley just found himself in all alone. He didn't have much of an angle because he was trying to race for the puck and then fanned on it. You saw his helmet come falling off there. Such a dangerous situation when players don't have their chin straps done up tightly enough and their helmets end up falling off. Also, Heatley was late getting back in because he had to stop and pick up his helmet and put it on and make sure the chin strap was properly done up, because if you don't, you end up with a 2-minute penalty. You have a choice. Either pick it up, put it on, strap it down right away, or else get to the player's bench as quickly as possible and don't enter the play.
Cyprus wins that face-off for Latvia. It goes along the inboards where Canada takes over. Briere is back there. Heatley's parked in front. Briere pushes it to the near side where Heatley chases in there against Cyprus. Danny Heatley just seems to get taller. I don't think he's finished growing yet.
He's taller in a lot of people's eyes. I'll tell you, the way that he's played after 2 years in the National Hockey League.
Now he's back there. Herbe was out of position, decided I better get back in my net here. Heatley again working hard, being helped out by number 12, Patrick Marleau. Now Briere will join the battle. Marleau's in front. Here's Briere. He can make the plays. Looking for somebody who's open, and nobody is. Here's Heatley, still with possession, being watched closely. Heatley trying to dance in there. He looks dangerous today, folks. Danny Heatley. Here's Eric Brewer, avoiding a check. Gets it over to Steos, gets it back to Brewer. Brewer with a little room to move on the line change here. Gets over the line. Eric Brewer's in there. Circles back. Forced to make some kind of move with Chubars looking after him, and finally he gives it up to Skrastins. Skrastins gets it to the line.
When Brewer was up in the offensive zone in the corner for quite some time with possession of the puck, Anson Carter, his former teammate, did an excellent job of coming back and playing defense, so Brewer was able to stay in and forecheck.
Bouwmeester gets it to Comrie, trying to push it ahead for Ryan Smith. Smith crunches his man down low. Gave Redless a good check. Now Redless is pinning Smith down to the ice.
Latvians aren't exactly allowing Canada to get out into a good shooting position. There's a lot of play behind the net and in the corner.
It's a physical game so far. They're fighting for position, and here's a chance for Semyonov. Semyonov's moving in. He's got some help. And Zambios had the puck taken away from him. Now he gets it back to the line for Sorokins. Takes a shot, deflected, rebound, they score! Sergei Chubars gets the place jumping with a goal for Latvia, and we're tied 1-1.
The shot from the point was just deflected, and it was a weak one by the time it got to Luongo, but then that loose puck was right out in front of Luongo once he gave up the rebound, and Canada, for some reason, weren't able to find the puck. Jay Bouwmeester kind of overskated the puck, and Chubars was standing there then, able to put it upstairs on the fallen Luongo.
And the crowd is jumping now. Here comes Canada. Horkoff hooked down. The ref was standing right there, and here they come again. This is Pantaleev. A lot of speed for this Latvian team. Pantaleev trying to go wide, and that is going to be a penalty on Matthew Dandino. So Latvia, with all kinds of momentum, now will go on the power play.
Midget Championship goes later today on TSN. The Air Canada Cup from the Sioux. Calgary North Stars beat Yorkton in the semifinals. Antoine Gerard Gallois from Quebec beat St. John's 3-2 in overtime. So it's Quebec, Alberta in the final today. Back to Turku.
Well, there you see the goal that was scored by Latvia to tie this hockey game up, and they are on the power play one more time. Matthew Dandino is in the penalty box for pulling down Pantaleevs, and so Canada are a little bit back on their heels right now and are going to have to try to get out of this first period playing a little bit better than they have in the last 5 minutes.
And give Latvia credit. That was a nice looking rush they had coming up the ice with a lot of speed to create that goal and put Canada back on its heels for a moment. This draw won by Canada. They'll fire that down the ice to kill some time. In the penalty to Matthew Dandino. Igors Tsipras, the 31-year-old veteran, starts the rush and then leaves it for Nishivas. Nishivas dances over the line, will stop, and they'll set up. Skrastins now. The Nashville Predator gets it back to Nishivas. Nishivas waiting for a man to get in front. He goes back to the point, gets it down low for Maciejewski's. Here's Nishivas again, back to Skrastins. Through traffic, snaps one towards the net. It was wide of the mark. Eric Brewer takes it away from Maciejewski's, but Cyprus has it now. Cyprus along the far boards. Gets it down low to Maciejewski's. Here's Cyprus. Back to Redless. Cyprus, good control here. No shots until right there. A great chance for Nishivas, and he fanned on the one-timer.
The Latvians are doing a good job, though. They're outnumbering Canada down low. They've got a 3-on-2 situation happening right in front of Roberto Luongo. They're trying to put the puck to the net. Good strategy on their part.
45 seconds to go in the Latvian power play. 14 minutes gone in the first. The rink is alive with the Latvians in this hockey game. Here comes the captain, Van Duel, starting the rush. Gets it up to Sorokins. Sorokins back to the line. Romanovskis couldn't handle that pass. It's along the near boards, into the middle and out with 20 seconds to go in the kill. Urbe now leaves it for Rodrigo Lavins. Lavins with a long pass up to Romanovskis. He loses control, and Carter will flip it in there, and it looks as though another power play is going out the window for Latvia. Dandino's back out on the ice. Team's back at even strength. 3 power play opportunities for Latvia in this first period, and they haven't been able to cash in. But it's a 1-1 hockey game as Steve Staios waits for things to set up around him. Mike Comrie following the block of Staios through the neutral zone. He is dumped right in front of the referee. No call there. Bouwmeester now. Back pedals just a little bit. Jay Bouwmeester skated very well rushing the puck yesterday against Belarus.
Some of the Canada players playing in international competition for the first time will have to get adjusted to the way that the game is called out here too. Picks are pretty legal in the international play.
Here comes Jonas Sprooks, number 5. Sprooks tries to center it in there. Eric Brewer cut that off. Leaves it for Ryan Smith. Goes up into the middle for Mike Comrie, one-on-one. And Comrie waited for some help, circled back at the end of a long shift. Pokes it ahead. Here's Comrie. He's got Heatley in front. There's the centering pass. Little tip from Heatley. Gets it back after Urbe made the save. Here's Danny Heatley winding it up. Cuts into the middle. Heatley still with it. Moves in. And finally has it poked away. Daniel Briere scoops it up in the corner. Here's Briere working against Chubars, the goal scorer. Briere centers it. And Eric Brewer couldn't get it away. And now Latvia's on a bit of a break. But everybody recovered for Canada, so they decide to dump it in and get a fresh unit out there. In behind the play, a Latvian player was dumped into Roberto Luongo.
Andy Murray's team know that they are in for a tough match here today. The Latvians have really played Canada closely. They have checked Canada hard. They've checked them physically. And in the offensive zone, Canada's offensive zone, they haven't been able to really get out into the open too much. Danny Heatley did have a good opportunity on that last shift, and Brewer came cruising in looking for the pass, but Brewer was very well tied up by Feldmanis. And so good close checking on the Latvians' part. They know they have to do that if they're going to have any chance of success against Canada.
Here's Cross. Lead pass out of the zone to Chris Kalanos. Kalanos carries it over the line. Is watched closely there by Rikas. Kalanos still with it, leaves it into the corner for Sean Horkoff, who drops it off for Cross. Here's Corey Cross lugging it up there, cuts in front and scores! Corey Cross steps up from the blue line and gets it to go on the wraparound, and Canada has retaken the lead, 2-1.
Welcome Corey Cross back to international hockey. He's played some of his best hockey in his career on the large ice surface here internationally. He just came around behind the net, and with that great big reach of his, he was actually able to fool Arthur's Urbe and be able to put it in behind him.
How about that? Corey Cross, who had just 2 goals all season in 37 games in the NHL with the New York Rangers and the Edmonton Oilers, has the go-ahead goal right now here in Finland in the late stages of what was turning into a pretty tense first period, and still may be. Icing is the call there.
Well, Canada once again getting the lead, and with a little less than 3 minutes remaining in this first period, I'm sure that Andy Murray is going to be stressing, making sure that they just don't get caught with 3 men in deep. Canada like to play what they call a Canadian game, of course, which means you skate, you shoot, you forecheck, but you don't get caught with odd man rushes, making sure that that third man is in a position to be able to get back so you're not outnumbered at your own blue.
They got the pressure on again. Heatley keeps it deep into the far corner. Marlowe walks out with it, loses his footing, and Van Duels will start out for Latvia. Gets it to Pantelejev's near side. On the left wing, Lavins is in there, number 2 for Latvia. Bumped off the puck by Danny Heatley, who banks it off the end boards to his defensive teammate, and Daniel Briere chips it out. But it's pretty clear, Greener, that the Canadian defensemen have their orders, that they have got the green light to go.
Very much a part of the Canadian playbook, David, because they rely on mobile, good offensive-minded defensemen.
Shane Doan walking in there, snapping a good shot on Arthur's Urbe, who had to be careful with that.
Doan just muscled his way into a good shooting position. Doan this season, once again, had good numbers for the Phoenix Coyotes. This was his 8th year in the National Hockey League. Played in all 82 games, 21 goals, 37 assists, second in scoring for the Phoenix Coyotes, and led them in shots.
Very important player for the Coyotes. An energy player, a guy who sets the tone for that team. Tries to set the tone there with a good body check along the near boards. It comes out of the neutral zone. Here's Cyprus. Tried to pass across to Maciejewski, but the pass was behind him. Draper now with some forechecking pressure. Latvia has to regroup. Again, international rules, no red line. Comes into play on the 2-line pass.
Look at Bouwmeester go.
Jay Bouwmeester, look at the skating. I mentioned we saw a lot of that yesterday against Belarus. A big defenseman, still young, still learning the game, apparently. He already looks like he knows an awful lot about it.
Bruns also did a good job. He just set up the roadblock on him. Just get in his way. That's all you can possibly do, and then hope you don't get bowled completely over. He's a big man.
Comrie keeps it in. Gets it back in the net. Skrassens is outnumbered by Carter and Smith. Here's Smith trying to get away from his check. Ryan Smith still with it. Now he loses it, and Carter does as well, and Latvia will get it out. Shirakos loses his footing. He's back up there. Sprooks now near side, bumped off the puck momentarily by Brewer. And Eric Brewer takes over from there. We're under a minute to go. 40 seconds left in the first period. 2-1 Canada. That pass to Mike Comrie just missed. And here's Heatley. Danny Heatley right into Smith, and he couldn't get the pass across. Canada looking dangerous again. Most of it created by number 15 today. Heatley's having a whale of a game.
Quite honestly, I thought that was offside. I thought that when that puck came off of the boards, that it was offside.
Lavins fires a shot. A weak one that's deflected and doesn't reach the goal. 10 seconds to go. That pass is cut off by Rikas. Lavins gets it to Chubars. He tried to center it. No go. Corey Cross dumps it down the ice, and that's it for the first period. A pretty entertaining opening 20 minutes here in Finland. Goals by Corey Cross and Danny Heatley for Canada as they take a 2-1 lead into the first intermission.
One in the first period when Corey Cross off the airplane, into a uniform, into the lineup, into the net. 2-1, Canada leads through one. Rod Black and Terry Crisp with you back in our Canadian intermission studios. Back to Turku, Finland for second period action. Pretty good period of hockey.
Good period of hockey. Exactly what we thought was Canada trying to get it done, doing it. Latvia hanging in like a dirty shirt. All those party boys out there loaned them to them. And I thought that Latvia played, like I said, they're going to play physical, and they did that. And then, but I got to say also, Canada has Urbe thinking now because they put a couple goals on where he's going to start looking over. Corey Cross off the plane. I like it. That was good, Rod.
Oh, thanks very much. It's early, too. Number 15, Danny Heatley, owned that period, owned the puck. I'm surprised he only has one goal so far.
This youngster, I mean, the NHL know all about this youngster, but the great part is he can up and get better and better and better. When this youngster goes over, the goal he scored, Rod, right off the back, you tell me about patience, looking. I mean, Urbe is not just another guy who just fell off a turnip truck for a goaltender. Danny tried, lost it, but this youngster's got so much confidence. He tries stuff, he moves with the puck. This kid is going to get nothing but better, and this experience over there is going to be just so much for him. I love watching this youngster. You know why I love it? Because it tells me down the road, the NHL has some great young players coming up.
He had 41 goals in the regular season in the NHL for Atlanta this year. Had a goal in yesterday's game against Belarus. Said that he didn't really have a great experience at last year's Worlds, but then again, neither did Team Canada.
Exactly, and he's a youngster too, so he's learning, he's doing it. But the good part is that the youngsters are willing to go over, and like Greener keeps saying, hey, you can't beat this experience that these guys are having out there. And you look down our roster, we got a lot of youngsters over there, but you know what? Most of the coaches say, hey, Crispy, quit yapping, will you? We don't want our players over there, we want them in the playoffs. But if they're not in the playoffs, Rod, let's send them over there.
Why not? Absolutely. Danny Heatley has a goal. Corey Cross has a goal. It's 2-1 Canada. We'll talk more about what Team Canada has to do in the second period coming up. But other games going on. Look at Team USA lost to Denmark yesterday, losing to Switzerland 1-0 today. The United States might get relegated at the World Hockey Championship. Can you believe it? Japan losing right now to Germany 4-2. And, of course, Canada. 2.5 hours west of Helsinki, Turku, Finland, where Canada is playing Latvia today. Apparently yesterday, of course, Finland and Sweden, they have a great rivalry through the ages. And yesterday, how about those Finns? They threw a free lunch for all of their Swedish friends.
What Ron, I'm always leery of you when you're throwing out this
a thousand free lunches to the Swedish hockey tourists. You had to provide your national passport, and ABBA played in the background. So they're showing until they play each other.
They're up to something, I guarantee you. I've been lucky enough to beat it. I've been at Turku, and they are very hospitable. The food is great, and the refreshments are cold.
Oh, there you go. Those Latvian fans would know about that. Before today's game, Dave Randorf had a chance to talk with Captain Canada. Let's go back to Turku.
Thanks very much, Rod. I'm here with Ryan Smith, and if it's springtime in Europe and the Worlds, Ryan Smith must be here. 5 straight years you've committed to Team Canada come here. I know you'd love to be going deeper into the playoffs. Everybody here would. But you're here. You're competing for Canada. Tell me what it means to you when you get that call and the opportunity to put on that jersey one more time.
Well, it's a great opportunity, and it's obviously an honor to come over and play for your country. We play with great pride over here, and you know, we should be playing at this time of the year anyway, so it's hockey, and it's exciting to come over.
And I imagine the honor of wearing a C for Team Canada, which you've done now for 3 straight seasons, is quite an honor as well.
No question. It's something that I'll cherish forever, but by no means it changes me how I play. There's a lot of great leaders in that dressing room that could to be wearing it, so it's obviously a great honor.
Is it different from wearing a captaincy, say, in a team in the NHL where you're together for 82 games? Is there anything different about that role here in a shortened span?
Well, I think just more or less the short stint that you got here, you got to try to draw everybody together as quick as you can, because it's a 2-week event, and you got to make sure everybody feels comfortable. So it's different, but more or less you're doing your own thing and trying to win for your country.
Speaking of being comfortable, I imagine it's comfortable for you being back out on the ice with a couple of, well, one of your Oiler teammates and one of your former Oiler teammates in Comrie and Carter.
Yeah, it's nice to reunite again. Obviously, we've shown some chemistry in previous years as a line together, and Mikey and I have played on and off this year, so we've got a feel for each other. it's something that we take pride in, and we obviously want to better ourselves each game to improve the team.
Well, speaking of taking pride, you know there's a lot of fans coast to coast watching this that are proud to have you here once again. So thanks for the time, and good luck the rest of the way, Ryan.
Thanks for having me.
Back to you, Rod.
So now what does Ryan Smith and Team Canada have to do in this second period?
Probably just crank it up what they were doing. I thought they were playing well. They were going to the net. They were taking the puck low. And I think that Urbe hates traffic. So having said that, what do? Yes, give them lots of traffic.
Well, close hockey game, though. It's only 2-1 for Canada through one. The goal scored again by Danny Heatley. Beauty, and also Corey Cross with the go-ahead marker. Sergei Chubar scoring for Latvia. It is 2-1 Canada after one from Turku, Finland, as Canada tries to solve the puzzle of Arturs Urbe. You're watching the IIHF World Hockey Championships on TSN.
Roberto Luongo and Arturs Urbe settle in for the second period. It's 2-1 Canada on goals by Cross and an absolute beauty by Danny Heatley. Chubars has the goal for Latvia. One-goal game, Gary.
Well, unfortunately, in international hockey, they oftentimes don't give the second assist, and Daniel Briere definitely deserved an assist on Danny Heatley's goal, but he wasn't awarded it.
Should point out that Cross with a goal and Reinprecht with an assist. Two new guys that just arrived yesterday have already had an impact as Eric Brewer's dancing right in. Rebound to Chris Draper, and he couldn't get a shot away. Nice rush there by Brewer. Draper comes out in front, tries to put a backhander in on goal. It comes around the boards where Stales keeps it in momentarily, and Tsipras gets it to Maciejewski. Maciejewski dancing over the line, leaves it for Nishivas. Nishivas leaves it there. Quick shot, saved by Luongo.
Well, they say it hit Roberto Luongo's face mask. That's why it was whistled down. Luongo was arguing that it didn't, that it hit his blocker.
Looked to me like it hit his blocker.
The international rule is if the puck hits the goaltender's face mask, that it is whistled down. It's kind of a strange rule now in this day and age whereby, you know, goaltenders hardly ever get hurt when it ends up hitting their face mask. They're very well protected.
Latvia's done a nice job in the face-off circle. They get it back to the line. Shot on the way. Deflected in front by Bouwmeester, so it didn't reach the goal. Briere can't get the clearing pass, and Latvia has it at center ice. This is Slava Fanduls, number 8, gets it back to his defense. Tribunsos banks it off the end boards to Carlos Skrastins. 5-year NHL veteran, all those seasons with Nashville. Pantalev right in. Almost got a good shot away, but Craig Rivet was there at the last second to deflect his shot into the corner. Marleau starts out with a pass to Heatley, and that's offside on what was looking like a dangerous rush for Canada.
A couple of guys for Team Canada, Danny Heatley and Mike Comrie. I think you'll see both of these players have just a great World Championship tournament. Last year was their first year, and they learned an awful lot about the skill level at this World Championship. Meanwhile, Patrick Marleau is a veteran. This is his third World Championship, played in '99 and '01.
Lavins lugs it out for Latvia, banks it off the boards where it's gathered up back in the Canada zone by their defensive pair of Dandino and Corey Cross. Here comes Canada on a rush. That was Chris Kolanos trying to go it alone. Had the puck stripped at his blue line, and back it comes into the Canadian zone. Cross gets it to Dandino. Sidesteps a check. Dandino over the blue line now. Gets it back to Kolanos, who this time dumps it in. Far corner where Semyonovs is there to meet it for Latvia. He gets it to Chubars, who gives it up, but a penalty is coming up.
Horkoff ended up with a stick right in the face. He wears that face shield, but he got it in the mouth.
Check that. There is no penalty call. Play was whistled down because Horkoff was hurt.
See, that stick, I believe, of Semyonov's came right up and hit Horkoff right in the face, and it was right in front of the official.
So it remains 5-on-5, 2 minutes into the second period, and a 2-1 lead for Canada. Long pass looking for Onkipan. Floated by him. And Brewer loses the puck, but Canada gets it in there. Comrie dumps it in. Herbe leaves it for Scrastons. Brings it around the boards where it's met there by number 16, Chirakos. Here's Onkipans. He leaves it for Feldmanis. Back of the net for Spruks. Janis Spruks. Good young player for Latvia. Could see a bunch of him in North America as he just finished playing in the Quebec Major Junior League in Bathurst for the Titans. Pantaleev now into the corner. Trying to sidestep the check of big Eric Brewer. Not easy to do. Onkipan's in there helping out. Jamie Heward's in there giving him the business along the end boards. Brewer still working over Pantaleev. A lot of persistence from this Latvian lineup. One-timer set up, fanned on the shot. And out they come. It's Comrie with a head of steam. He's got Carter with them. Comrie drops it off for Smith. It was too far behind him. And Dandino couldn't reach it as he was trailing on the play, but they still got it in there. It's Comrie. Shane Doan has joined in to help out. He's circling around the net. Cross keeps it to the line, fires right on. Herbe makes the save, and into the corner it goes. Here's Dandino. Matthew Dandino back of the net for Maltby. Here's Doan with Draper in front. He gets a shot away. It's a weak one, and Arturs Herbe covers up a face-off coming up in the Latvian zone when we come back.
Alberta and Quebec coming up at noon, high noon Eastern from Sault Ste. Marie, 9 a.m. Pacific time. It's the Air Canada Cup. Best midget hockey players in Canada will go at it. Antoine Girard from Quebec and Calgary from Alberta on TSN.
Well, Canada have picked their pace up a bit in the second period. I think they were a little aggravated the fact that this Latvian team were playing them so closely and rather aggressively at that too. Once Horkoff got hit in the face, I think that may have sparked the Canadian bench a bit, especially with no call.
Maltby hits Draper on the fly, had it poked away. Doan loses it, and here comes Latvia. It's Romanovsky's dancing into the Canadian zone, leaves it for Nishivas. He falls down, does center the pass, and Luongo has to make a good save on the other side on the quick one-timer.
The Latvians are moving the puck around. They're gaining the zone. Canada aren't doing a very good job right now of standing up at the blue line. They're kind of backing in. The Latvians have had a pretty good head of steam up coming into the offensive zone, and then as you see in this replay, have had a pretty good give and go.
Face-off controlled by Canada. Bouwmeester hit Horkoff with a pass, who had to back up into his own zone. More forecheck pressure here from Latvia. Semyonov was guilty of a hand pass.
But it is a difficult situation for Canada year after year when they face teams like Belarus and like Latvia. The teams that are in the lower echelon of the International Ice Hockey Federation 16-team pooling definitely use games against Canada as a measuring stick. And they really get up for playing the Canadians, and the same can't be said for the Canadian players. They just don't get up for these games against Belarus and Latvia. I know they should, folks, but it's easier said than done.
Briere coming out from behind the net. His shot trickles just wide. Here's Heatley back there now. Watched by Scrastons, gets it to some open ice for Briere, puts it right back in the direction of Heatley, but he has it taken away by Carlos Scrastons. Up the boards and out. Latvia has had a tough draw to open this tournament last night against Sweden, and then today, less than 24 hours later, against Team Canada. Here's Tambios trying to dance out of the corner. Tambios on the wraparound. His shot is right on. Luongo closed all the holes, but he's right back in there. Tambios, number 14, being helped out by Chubars, who has the goal for Latvia. Here's Tambios now, dancing around back there, centers the puck, and nobody from Latvia could get their stick on it.
That little spark and little jump that I was talking about that Canada had in the second period, it's kind of disappeared. The Latvians have taken over.
Heatley tried to make a move to cut in front. He was cut off nicely by Tribunsos. And Latvia will start out once again. Spruks just missed that pass. Here's Ryan Smith going the other way. Centering pass into the middle for Stales, and he couldn't find the handle. Steve Stales was in the high slot. Once again, the defense very active in stepping up in the play here. Eric Brewer gives the Latvian player a shove after he took a hit down low. Icing is the call. The referee was right there. No call was made, but Brewer definitely shoved the guy.
Kurt Lidstrom, the coach of the Latvian team, knows full well, and he talked about it yesterday, that they have got to play Canada closely. They've got to make sure their defensive game is intact. And they have been playing them closely without any question. You see big Eric Brewer there just a little upset at the grappling that was kind of going on and has been going on by the Latvians. That's playing it close as far as the Latvians concerned. In Canada, oftentimes the National Hockey League would be called obstruction or holding.
Maciejewski, he's hauled down. Looking at that last replay on the Brewer play, you can see it was more a dive, as was that. And rightfully so, the referee did not make a call. Here's Smith. Nishivas will start out, number 17 for Latvia, with a pass to Maciejewski. Over the line, number 81, Maciejewski's back to Nishivas. He's watched closely by Carter. Mike Comrie can't get by the Latvian defender. And it's dumped in by Latvia. Corey Cross, now of the Edmonton Oilers, up to a former Oiler in Anson Carter. Steps over the line. He'll head to the bench after he dumps it deep. The Draper line comes out there with Doan and Maltby. Van Duels now. The Latvian captain at center ice. Long pass up the middle for Tambios. He's taken off his feet. Still got a good shot away. And Luongo had to make a save. Number 14's had a nice period here for Latvia. Leonid Tambios. Here comes Canada right in front for Draper. Oh, what a chance. Great opportunity for Canada to extend their lead to 2 goals.
Okay, back to Turku, Finland
It
now.
was a great chance by Draper, but it was also offside. You can barely hear the whistles in here. We're right in the crowd. So the faceoff comes out, and Canada will dump it right back in there. Reve into the near corner with Horkov pressuring along with Kolanos. Here's Kyle Calder. Far side into the corner. They can't keep it in there. Kolanos has to be careful with some pressure coming from Semyonovs and Chubars. Jay Bomeister now with it for Canada. 19-year-old. Just completed his first season. Here's a chance. Whoa, a shot went right across the goal mouth. It comes around to the point for Bomeister, whose shot is deflected just wide. Horkov back of the net with Kolanos. Being watched by Skrastins and Tribunsos. Puck squirts loose. Calder was in there to help out. And out it comes to center ice.
Canada trying to spread out. They've got to use the wide surface here to their advantage.
Here's Chubars, fires it into the middle. Just missed the stick of Semyonov. And Canada gets it out with 8:15 gone in the second period. Canada's next game is Tuesday against Sweden. And they hope to be going into that big one with a 2-0 record. But it looks as though Latvia is going to make them earn every bit of a potential win here today. Rodrigo Lavins being watched closely. Turns it over. Daniel Briere, the speedy Briere, tries to cut it in the middle. He centers for Marlowe. Save Urbe. Puck is loose, and Latvia will start out back the other way. Hankipon now. Number 9 going wide, trying to receive the pass that was tipped up and into the Latvian bench.
Briere certainly likes this big ice service, doesn't he? I mean, he's just been flying. He was flying in the exhibition game in Latvia when he went end-to-end. He has gone end-to-end on a few occasions today. He didn't have enough room to go to the net himself, and when he made that perfect pass on this last shift back to Marlowe, Marlowe just found himself in too tight on Arthur's Urbe to really find any room.
Eric Brewer with a nice pass up to Doan, who got in tight quarters and a sharp angle. His angle was cut down there, and Urbe made the save. Doan still in there, back of the net with Draper. Shane Doan being given some room here, gets it to Maltby. Maltby back to the line for Draper. Fires the shot. Save Irve. Rebound. Doan. Oh, he sweeps it just wide. Good work there by Doan. The leader of the Coyotes coming close in front. Maltby gets it to Draper. This line, as always, working hard. Draper cycles it back towards Kirk Maltby. Here comes Maltby creating some room to Draper. In down low to Doan. Centers the puck and nobody's there. Far side now, it's Stales. Good sustained pressure here by the team in red. Back to the line, it's Stales. Winds up, shoots. It's high and wide. And finally chipped out by Latvia.
Canadian players have got to take a lesson from Danny Heatley from the first period. When you come in from the angles on Arthur Zerbe, you've got to go high on him. He goes down early. He's a small goaltender, and as a result, he gives up rooms over his shoulder. You've got to go high on him.
Stales recovers nicely as that puck started to trickle in towards the Canadian net. Steve Reinprecht out now with a shift, along with Smith and Carter, as this line has been juggled up just a little bit. Comrie's on the bench. Here's a chance for Van Duels. Van Duels waiting for help, centers the puck, and it's tipped away from Romanovsky's number 24. And back comes Canada, 3-on-2. Carter with Reinprecht going for the net. Here's Smith in front. Has it poked away nicely by Lavins. Smith to Carter. Right in front. Oh, what a stop by Irve on the one-timer from Bomeister. A great stop by the little Latvian. Keeps it 2-1.
Sweden will play Belarus later today, and then Team Canada on Tuesday. It's right here from the Worlds on TSN at 12:50 Eastern.
RBC Financial Group has developed the Toonie Toss fundraising program. Toss a toonie from the stands. One nearest the target wins great prizes. Proceeds go directly to your community hockey program. RBC Financial Group, premier sponsor of the CHA.
That was Steve Reinprecht with that great opportunity and a fantastic save by Irve. Keeps it 2-1 here.
On the other hand, I had just finished pointing out that when Irve goes down, as he does, you've got to go high. You keep shoveling it right back into his pads, you're going to make him look better than he might be.
I don't think he had any choice to go down low, as he was just stretching out all he could to get across, and he made a fine save. And here's a chance. No, it's just going to be a little too far for Tambios, who was off to the races.
That was a good face-off play by the Latvians.
Tambios turns and fires a shot. That's wide. Skrastins will fire one right back at the direction of Luongo, who covers up.
That face-off, as soon as it was won, Tambios just took right off. And because there is no red line, you can get all the way down to the blue line with that long bomb pass. Canada's defense are going to have to be extra cautious about that. They have to have at least one defenseman pull out early as soon as the puck is turned over.
Sprooks wins the draw against Briere. Giannis Sprooks, 6'3", 230. Briere, not quite as big. Coming in for Canada, tried to get it to Heatley. Now Briere's got it down low, right in front for Cross, who's already got one goal. I guess he figures he's hot. Now Briere circles around Cross, still with a puck. Leaves it to the far point for Dandeneau. Cross will tip it and they score! A deflection right in front by Heatley. He's got his second of the game, and Canada has a 3-1 lead.
Whoa, what great hand-eye coordination. Arthur Zerbe is just shaking his head. From the high angle, watch how Heatley is left all alone. There he is standing in front of Irbe, and when that puck comes towards him, he's just positioned perfectly. Screening Irbe, and at the same time, when that puck, well, they're giving it to Corey Cross.
I think they'll change that.
They will change that. The shot was taken from the point, but Heatley just saw that puck coming and then deflected it perfectly right by Arthur Zerbe.
And we've seen two very different goals by Heatley, illustrating his skill level in both. You saw one with a shot where he had absolutely no room in the first, yet found some. Taking a pass on his backhand, getting into the forehand in tight quarters, and then roofing it. And then there, just simply getting into position, and the good hand-eye coordination that you pointed out. Danny Heatley.
And he's good defensively. He kills penalties. What an all-round player.
Centered right in front, and Urbe has to make another sprawling save before this one gets a little bit out of hand. 12:20 gone.
Chris Draper is upset at himself because when he all of a sudden got the pass, and that's not what we're seeing. We're seeing, folks, that goal once again. The shot by Corey Cross, the deflection by Danny Heatley, but just on that last shift, Chris Draper had a great opportunity, and Arthur Zerbe once again took that low shot away from him.
A good low shot by Cross, who now has a goal and an assist in this hockey game. No jet lag there for the big defenseman who just arrived in Finland yesterday, and that's no short trip. The long flight into Helsinki, and then the 2-hour drive here to Turku. Poked out of the zone there, but Latvia was keeping the pressure on, but offside at the line. 12:28 gone in the second period. 3-1 Canada.
Well, Canada has to build on this past goal. The Danny Heatley play has given Canada a 2-goal lead, and they have to keep that momentum going. There you see Jay Bouwmeester, who had just a great rookie season with the Florida Panthers. He won't get many votes probably for the Rookie of the Year, but playing on a Florida team that struggled, he showed tremendous poise this season.
And you don't necessarily measure his game by stats, but I tell you, it's a great game. Here's Horkov, try to center it in for, there's Calder. Following up on the play was Kolanos. Another 3-on-1 rush by Canada. Calder now with it. Kolanos backing up in behind the net. He's watched closely there by Sorokins. Into the corner it goes. Romanovsky scoops it up. Penalty coming up. It's going to be a tripping call against Chris Kolanos as he knocked down Romanovsky.
Romanovsky has just kind of felt the weight of Kolanos' stick, and his feet buckled on him. Kolanos just a little chop right there.
They call it slashing. Looked like a trip. Regardless, it's 2 minutes in the box for Kolanos, and Latvia will get another opportunity on the power play. They're 0 for 3 today. All of those power plays coming in the first period. They crept to within 1 in the first. Actually, they had it tied, I should say. And this crowd was really into it. They're never really out of it, these Latvian fans. They'll stay in it. Another goal here would raise the volume of this building considerably. Back to the line now, down low. Semyonovs is in front. Tambios gets it back to the point. That pass is cut off and cleared by Maltby. Urbe out of his net to handle it. Here's Tambios, who's had a strong second period. Causing a lot of trouble with his speed. Leaves it for Cyprus. Back to the line now. Tribunsos fakes the shot. Far boards now. Tambios likes to set up over there. On the left-hand side, Cyprus, number 29, back to Tambios. A lot of possession, but again, not many shots. There was one, and it went wide as Skrastins had a great opportunity and couldn't find the target. There's Cyprus again, 40 seconds to go on the penalty. Back to the line, fired, and it didn't miss by much. Kept in by Cyprus.
That was a bullet of a shot, too, from the point.
Tribunsos on the one-timer. Looking to go far side, and he just missed. Semyonov gets it back to Skrastins. Skrastins trying to get away from Doan, cuts into the middle. Back to Cyprus, 19 seconds to go on the power play. Here's Skrastins, fakes the shot. Cyprus, he fires one, save Luongo. Rebound, another shot, and it's high and over the net. As Luongo is ducking for cover, 8 seconds to go. Great pressure here by Latvia. Steos turns it over. Skrastins looking for the open man. Bouncing around in there. The penalty is over. Kalanos is back on the ice. Latvia's still got the pressure on. Tambios back in the net. Centers to Skrastins. Oh, what a chance for Semyonov. Just missed on the great pass across the crease.
What great puck possession by the Latvians, that whole power play.
But they come up empty, and it remains 3-1.
Best players in Canadian Junior A hockey. Royal Bank Cup, the Charlottetown Abbeys, the host team. Prince Edward Island, the host province. Sunday, May 11th, the championship game. May 11th, also the championship game at the Worlds. Let's go back to Turku. Here's Dave Randorf and Greener.
Well, Canada dodged a bullet. The Latvians had great puck possession, moved it around well, and had some great shots, but some of them were high. Some of them missed the net.
However, you'd like to stay out of the box here because I think Latvia has shown that they can be quite dangerous. Here's a dangerous opportunity for Sprooks, and he couldn't reach it as he was flying in there.
Good play by Luongo, though. He saw that he had the time. He's got a long reach. He got out quickly and moved the puck.
Taking his time out of his own zone as Rivet gets it across to Bouwmeester. Bouwmeester sidesteps a check, still with it, flips it in there. Urbe takes a poke at it, leaves it in the corner. Latvia gets it out. Back in his own zone was Bouwmeester. To Comrie. Comrie winding up, looking for an open man, was trying to find Smith far side. This lines back together again. Here's Smith, fires a shot. Didn't get all of it, and it went well wide. Comrie back together with Smith and Ensign Carter. Here is Smith, trying to chip it ahead to Carter on the move. That was taken away by Sorokins. And here comes Carter. It is a great skating game over here. You see a lot of this. Look at Carter go. Trying to force his way in there outside the check. Following up on the play, the trailer. Back of the net now. That was Dandino stepping up in there. Briere's down low. Being watched along the inboards by Redless. Marlowe. He can't get away from Pantaleev. Canada now returning the favor with some pressure of their own. Marlowe goes to the front of the net. So does Corey Cross. He was hauled down by Pantaleev, who's much smaller. No penalty call coming up.
But Cross was arguing it anyway, and he felt that he got dumped going to the net. Corey Cross showing good mobility, good offensive skills. As I talked about earlier in this game, Canada have got a defense that they feel are mobile enough to help the offense. So many of these teams here at the World Championship will trap. And if you're going to make the trap, you need some assistance from your defense.
Eric Brewer fires a shot, a good hard shot that missed on the near side. Out of the corner is Doan. He puts one right on goal and hit Urbe right in the chest protector.
Canada's forwards got to look back to the point, too. They've got some pretty good shots coming from right now, Brewer and Steos. I think at times that they might be better off going back to the points, letting the points blast away, and the forwards doing a better job of jamming the net in front of Urbe.
Here comes Steve Steos from the line. Flipped it towards the goal. It's deflected wide into the near corner and scooped along the boards by Maciejewski's.
They did exactly that time. And they jammed the net. Urbe was fully screened.
Skrastins is given a hit. Here's a chance for Latvia. Maciejewski's right in front. That was Nashivas who was given a check as he was moving in towards the Canadian goal as Latvia now back down to the other end.
That was Maltby back playing defense. Brewer had stood up and had a great hip check.
Centering pass, play broken up by Brewer. And Maciejewski's is forced to come out, get it to Rikas. Rikas with a quick pass to Tambios. It's deflected up and over the glass and into the crowd.
Canada right now need to keep their shifts short. They've got a little bit of momentum going. They've started to show some of their skating legs, and keeping their shifts at 30 to 35 seconds right now might benefit them.
Marlowe pushes it ahead off the face-off. Latvia gains control. This is Tribunso's back there. Gets it far side to Skrastins. Carlos Skrastins with a weak clearing attempt taken over by Canada. Briere grabs that out of midair and gets it across to Rivet, who had it bounce backwards on him. And that'll force him back. Here's Patrick Marlowe.
He was last man there. That was dangerous.
That was looking dangerous. Heatley tried to leave it for Briere. Rivet was back there to make sure no odd man rush was coming back the other way. Here's Jay Bouwmeester, who's really done most of the carrying of the puck for this defensive pairing. This time he leaves it for Briere. Daniel Briere to center ice, flips it in there. The forecheck is on, led by Heatley. Herbe beats him to the puck, gets it around to his winger, Stambios, and he gets it out. 1 minute to go in the second period. 3-1 Canada. A 2-goal lead. And here's Stambios trying to break in there, but once again, the defense back in position.
Great play by Danny Heatley. That was Danny Heatley was back in that position and ended up stopping a breakaway by the Latvians late in this second period.
Heatley back there, helped out by Dandino. Into the corner it goes. Carter was bumped off the puck, and here's Dandino at center ice. 30 seconds to go. He leaves it into the middle for Carter, who just tips it and redirects it high and wide. Comrie to Smith. Smith to Comrie, backhander. Oh, he just missed short side. Smith trying to center it again. And Latvia will get it out. More chances for Canada. This is Romanovsky coming the other way for Latvia.
Great back check by Mike Comrie. He really put his head down and got back extremely quickly.
Comrie waits for Carter to gain the line. Anson Carter can't control it. Latvia does for mere moments before the whistle goes, and that's it for the second period. And Canada has stretched their lead to 2. It's now 3-1 here in Turku.
Danny Heatley's second goal of the game, third goal of the tournament. Shot from the point by Corey Cross. A goal and an assist for Cross today. It is 3-1 Canada. Again, a 2-goal margin heading into the third period, as they had yesterday, Terry Crisp, against Belarus.
And Canada doing, I like your weather report on them. Canada are surviving the flurries on this one. Latvia sort of played back and forth, then suddenly they come at you. Canada doing a good job of man-on-man coverage. I like that.
They might be able to survive the flurries, but they're getting a lot of heat, as in Heatley. Let's take a look at the Terry Strader, shall we? Some plays from that second period.
All right, Rod, and the one thing I wanted to show was that Latvia are putting up a wall right at the blue line. They got everybody back. They bring all their guys back. Canada must get the puck deep because Latvia are putting up a wall against them. The one area that Canada can beat them on this is the man coming late, and Canada's doing a good job. Down low, find the man coming late, but Latvia are building a wall. They love to do it. They have all their guys back. I mean, if they can attack you, they will. But in the meantime, they build the wall, put it across, and then suddenly Canada has got to get it deep. They're a good counter team. But the one area that Canada's done a good job is, even when they've set up the wall, Canada puts it deep, they find the man coming late. And the other thing Canada's done great, down low play behind the net, the wraparounds, done a good solid job of that. I'm happy.
I love
I
love when you're happy.
Okay.
You know who's not happy right now?
Who?
Team USA. And they might want to fly in Herb Brooks. They need a miracle on ice in this tournament. Let's talk about the other game first, though. Germany leading Japan 4-2. That's in the second intermission. But take a look at this score. Yesterday, the United States lost to Denmark 5-2. Denmark's first ever win in that group. Switzerland has shut out the Americans 1-0. USA will play Russia on Tuesday, needing a win to get to the qualification round. And I know the Americans may not have taken this too seriously going in, but I'll tell you what, they're going to be taking that game Tuesday very seriously against Russia. Wow. And here is the schedule later today. Russia will play against Denmark after their big win yesterday. Can Denmark pull another one? Remember, they gave up 55 shots. Can you imagine how many shots the Russians might get today? Ukraine against Slovakia. The Slovakians are the defending world champions. And Sweden against Belarus, and Vladimir Kopat against Tommy Salo. Remember at the Olympic Games? And that goal. And also Peter Forsberg's playing in that. There's the rink in Turku, Finland. Canada leading 3-1, heading to the third period, day 2 at the World Championships. These players, of course, playing for World Gold. Other hockey players, of course, in North America right now playing for Stanley Silver as the Stanley Cup playoffs continue. Another Wild one last night, even though the Wild didn't play. Overtime. What else between the Anaheim Mighty Ducks and the Dallas Stars? After Rob Niedermeyer had scored to tie it in regulation, there's Mike Leclerc winning it in overtime. The 144 mark. They went 5 overtimes in game 1. And look at the Mighty Ducks. They have a 2-0 series lead as they go back to the pond on the Dallas Stars. Certainly the surprise so far of the postseason. And Tampa Bay and New Jersey also going to what else last night? Overtime. Jamie Langenbrunner. Second game in a row. The game winner. The Devils now have a 2-0 lead. They win 3-2 in OT over the Lightning. So the Devils lead, the Ducks lead 2 games in the other 2. Vancouver playing Minnesota later today, 1-0 lead. And don't forget, the NHL playoff hockey lives here. Monday, we have the Devils and the Lightning Game 3 and the Stars and the Mighty Ducks of Anaheim. That is tomorrow on TSN. What up with the Anaheim Mighty Ducks?
You love that. You love that. You and I were arguing about this before we come on the air this morning, and you said to me, "Oh, Crispy, everybody picked the Ducks to do what they're going to do." Yeah, sometimes you fib to me too, but I got to give Mike Babcock, the head coach, full marks for what he's doing with his hockey club. I mean, they're playing to their full potential right now. They're getting solid goaltending. You know what? From a coaching standpoint of view, it's great to watch these teams do it because you keep getting tired of the big boys in the block always controlling it.
Is it all momentum? What is it? Is it a bunch of young guys who just want to go out and win one for Anaheim? Is this a team that is potentially for sale? What is this?
Win one for the Gipper? What are you doing up there? You know what? The greatest thing in the world is Mike Babcock would wish that everybody's saying, "Oh, it's only momentum, not do it." No, they're a good team. They started gel at the halfway point. They started to put it all together. They've always had, on paper, a good hockey club. It just didn't relate back onto the ice. Now it is.
And goaltending with Giguère. And goaltending is the factor, of course. You know that in the postseason right now. What about that Ottawa-Philadelphia series? And I know Ottawa started off slowly against the Flyers, but then came back and won that game 1.
You know what? I think Ottawa did the smartest of any team this year at the deadline. They went out and got some grit. Every year the same thing. Everybody says, we like Ottawa, but they're going to get spanked around. They're going to get smacked around and disappear all the time. This year, Ottawa went out and they reinforced some grit. They got some toughness, and I think Ottawa is in there for the long haul. They better be, because Philadelphia is going to have to go after them.
Vancouver Canucks play against Minnesota again in Game 2. They went overtime in Game 1. Minnesota, I don't think surprising. They're well coached with Jacques Lemaire.
They're not a surprise. I mean, all year long they've done it. They stayed there. Everybody kept waiting for the wheels to fall off of the Minnesota Wild. It never did. They just kept getting better. Fernandez, Rolison, and then Jacques Lemaire, obviously the coaches, put it together and made it happen out there. So, no, they're not going to just go away in despair. And Vancouver, I love the team they built out there, but they're still a bit of an enigma to me. I can't put a full handle on what they're going to do.
All right, let's go back to the Worlds quickly. What about Team USA?
Don't even go there.
Wow.
Man, hey. You're loving it, aren't you? You're just thoroughly enjoying that one,
I just can't believe it, actually. They could be relegated, and they might not make it to the top group next time. That's a fascinating story. They're going to have to beat Russia.
Could be some more broken furniture. Oh, don't do that, Rod. Come on.
They might have needed Chris Chelios. Maybe he just doesn't want to be there. Second period summary, Danny Heatley, his 3rd goal of the tournament, 2nd of this game. Canada has a 3-1 lead over Artur Zerbe and the Latvians. 3rd period coming up from Turku, Finland. You're watching the World Championship on TSN.
Welcome back, everyone. Dave Randorf and Gary Green with you. We're set for the 3rd period where Roberto Luongo will start the 3rd with a 2-goal lead. 3-1 is the score. Artur Zerbe settling in down at the other end. The big star for Canada today. It's been a number of players who played well, but Danny Heatley has a couple of goals, 3 in 2 games. And Canada will try to close the deal here and then have a day off before they prepare to play Sweden on Tuesday, right back here in Turku. Sweden plays later tonight here against Belarus. That, of course, is the old rematch from the Olympic Games.
But is Tommy Salo going to play?
Right.
I don't think so. I think Tommy Salo is going to sit it out in tonight's game.
Really? You think so?
I think so.
Because last night against Latvia, they played Michael Telkvist in net. And you don't think they're going to give Salo?
No, actually, Tommy Salo had a little press conference last night here at the building and suggested to people that he was not going to play in the game against Belarus, and because he didn't feel that he was ready yet to step right in. We'll see, though. That could have just been Tommy Salo talking at the time, and you may well see Salo in the net tonight.
Canada trying to break in there. That play was broken up at the line, and Latvia turns it back the other way. Romanovskis has the puck stripped. Down low, here's Heatley scooping it up. Giving a little tug from behind. Took his timing off just a little bit. And Penzelev caught up with him and broke up the play. Here's the turnover at center ice. Patrick Marleau flips it ahead. He was looking for Briere, who was cutting into the middle. Heatley follows up, and Latvia gets it out. One player they will see tonight, the Swedish hockey fans, is Peter Forsberg. Here comes Patrick Marleau right in there, and Herbe poked it away from him before he could get a good shot away. Marleau tried to center it, and out comes Tembios. Tembios, who's been very noticeable today, gets it to Semyonov, tried to return the favor, couldn't get the centering pass to go, and Canada sends it down the ice where it will be icing. And just to finish the thought, Matt Sundin will not play for Sweden until Tuesday against Canada. Forsberg will be in the lineup tonight against Belarus.
Well, meanwhile, Canada has responded with a pretty good effort on Patrick Marleau's part. That puck could well have bounced over Herbe's shoulder and into the net. But then Latvia came back with a good rush on their part. So still a pretty even hockey game, but Canada with a 2-goal lead.
Ryan Smith had it poked away. Anson Carter couldn't find the handle, as Latvia's making it tough on Canada just to get over the Latvian blue line right now.
That was a good cross-ice pass by Anson Carter.
Comrie trying to fight off the check from Chubars. Comrie lifts the stick, gains possession, gets it to Smith, who puts it down into the corner for Carter. Here's Smith now, trying to get it back into Carter. Failed, turned it over. Matthew Dandino hauled down Tembios. The crowd wants a call. They're not going to get one. Look at that long pass for Smith. Love that. However, Latvia, not fooled by the play, took it away from Ryan Smith, and they start back the other way. Here's Redless. Leaves it for Shirakos. He's in there against Brewer. Kolanos gets it far side for Kyle Calder, and here they come. It's Steve Stales with Horkov charging in with him. Stales turns back.
Little strategy change on the Latvians' part in this third period. They're starting to send at least one forward very high. When the puck's back in their own end, they're sending up forward high, looking for that long pass, that breakaway opportunity.
And here is the high forward right now, Alexei Shirakos, trying to get around Stales. We'll watch for the touchdown pass here. You're right, there's a guy breaking early every time they even look like they're coming out of their zone. Shirakos lays the body in behind the net. Sorokins does keep it in there, but he leaves it for Eric Brewer, who will get it out to center ice for Calder, who chips it ahead and then goes to the bench.
Well, what they're doing is they're also gambling when Canada's still got possession of the puck. They're starting to leave that forward very early, hoping that there's a turnover in play, so they're gambling, something that they would not have done in the first couple of periods.
That was a dangerous-looking rebound left by Luongo. A lot of red jerseys, but a couple of white jerseys were charging in there as well. Kept the play going. Almost 4 minutes gone in this third period. Behind the Latvian goal now, Sorokins takes a bump, leaves it for a teammate, kept in by Maltby momentarily, but out they come.
Shane Doan's really playing well, Dave.
Maciejewski's over the line. Takes a shot, didn't miss by much. And it's cleared and taken over by Cyprus, who gets it back to the blue line.
Doan's been taking the body. He's skating really well. He likes this big ice surface, and he's taking full advantage of it. He's had some good body checks, good scoring opportunities. He's been a good leader in the first game and 2 periods.
Here's a turnover and an opportunity for Canada. Patrick Marleau wires one. That was tipped, may have caught the side of the net on its way by. Turnover of the Latvian end almost cost him. Pantaleev now charging in there. Can't get around Bomeister. Finally, it goes into the corner. Bomeister's in there. Pantaleev's digging to the skates. Van Duels redirects the puck back where it came from. Pantaleev against Marleau, takes it away from him. Here comes Pantaleev, centers it for Van Duels. Can't get the one-timer away. Briere was looking for that puck to come loose. He was on the move. Great chance there for Patrick Marleau. Turns it over now for Pantaleev. Here's Chubars, who's got the goal for Latvia. Centers the puck, but Bomeister had his man tied up. Briere has it wide side. He'll dump it in and then head to the bench for another change. This is Rikas now with some room to move for Latvia. Gains center ice over the blue line now. Look at Rikas go. Takes a shot, and Luongo got a piece of that. Arvids Rikas on a dangerous-looking rush. from the back end. Brewer now makes a nice little move to get it to Steos, and Steos slugs it out. The Edmonton Oiler blue liner gives it to the former Oiler, who centers it. They score! What a play by Anson Carter right in front of Mike Comrie, who tipped it home. Great goal, 4-1 Canada.
It almost like those two guys knew each other. Anson Carter, you see right there on your right of your screen. He's not at a very good angle, but he wasn't really shooting at the net. He was shooting for Comrie to be able to redirect that puck. He was putting it right to the net, knowing full well that Mike Comrie was heading there, and Mike Comrie, with great hand-eye coordination, great hands, was able to take that puck right out of the air, low as it was, and put it right by Arthur's Urbe to give Canada a real commanding 3-goal lead here now.
A great play by Carter. You're right, former teammates who seem to remember working together not too long ago, before Carter went to the New York Rangers at the trade deadline back in March. And Canada's right back in there now with a 3-goal lead. And the air has gone right out of this building, as Latvia was threatening to at least cut it to 1. But now the hole gets even deeper for the Latvians, who now find themselves in a bit of a desperate situation, having already lost their first game. The Latvian player there loses his feet, loses an edge. Bouwmeester, it's a 3-on-2 rush for Canada. Kolanos, Calder's wide side. Kolanos with a shot, and a nice stop there by Urbe. And with that, we'll take a break. Canada has extended their lead 4-1.
Sports Center comes up later today with those two guys. 10:30 Eastern, 7:30 Pacific time. Busy day in the NHL, the NBA, and Freddie Couples leads the Houston Open. Can he win? Find out later tonight on Sports Center as we send it back to Finland.
Well, the wind out of the sails of the Latvian fans, and a number of them may be in hangover mode right now, because, boy, a lot of these fans have partied hard for 48 hours. This morning, out in front of our hotel in downtown Turku, and there's a big market there. There was a rock band playing at 10 o'clock this morning. The Latvian fans were going wild. The market was absolutely jammed with Latvian fans, all wearing their maroon sweaters. They are great hockey fans, great partiers.
Great partiers. They
but right now, they're kind of in a sleepy mode, I think.
They are putting on a partying clinic. It's amazing. They love having a good time. Here comes Cyprus. He'd like to have a good time and put another goal on the board here for the team in white. Latvia has been in the A pool here at the World Championship since 1997. They finished 7th that year, and it's gone downhill ever since. They've never been able to finish as high as 7th.
But they definitely have proved as a hockey country. And Latvia will be hosting the World Championship in 2 years in Riga, a beautiful city.
And you think that'll be a party. They were 11th last year, and one thing to keep in mind here, this team would certainly be helped with the presence of Sandis Ozolic if they had him, and Sergei Zholtok. But then again, a lot of teams face the same issues when NHLers are still busy playing for the Stanley Cup back in North America.
And there's some players that could be playing here. And one of the guys that I'm disappointed in is Joe Thornton. Joe Thornton just had an outstanding season, and he declined the opportunity to play for Team Canada. I'm not quite sure why, because you've got the World Cup coming up in 2004, possibly the Olympics in 2006. Joe Thornton, you would think, would want to play for both of those teams.
Play bouncing around dangerously in the Canadian zone right now. Latvian pressure, trying to take advantage. Pantaleev poking away at it. Here's Van Duels with Pantaleev headed for the front of the net. Romanovsky's got it now. Romanovsky's dancing in there in between two Canadian defenders. Had to take it away. And finally, they get it out, thanks to the efforts of Heatley. Back they come again. This is Lavins over the line, hounded by Smith. Lavins gets it back to Tambios. Tambios put it back the other way to Van Duels, who puts a shot right on, handled easily by Roberto Luongo. It's 4-1 Team Canada.
Back at the World Championships, the game story Danny Heatley, 2 goals, and the Oilers doing it like they did yesterday for Team Canada, leading 4-1 right now over Latvia. The win yesterday over Belarus, brought to you by Chevrolet, proud to support Canadian men's hockey through sponsorship of the World Hockey Championships. Visit us at gmcanada.com as we send you back to Turku. Here's Dave Randorf and Gary Green.
Play just underway in the Canadian zone. They win the face-off. Here's Craig Rivet. Gets it to Bouwmeester. Lead pass up for Comrie. Can't quite handle it. Here's Ryan Smith following up. Takes a shot. Handled by Urbe. Into the corner it goes. Comrie. The latest goal scorer in this game. Now has 2 in the tournament. As he scored yesterday, had 1-1 against Belarus. Now has a goal in this one against Latvia.
You know, we were talking about Joe Thornton, for example. There's no question in my mind, having been here at international hockey for so many years, that you're such a better hockey player, having had the experience of playing in the World Championship. And there's no question, if you want to play in the Olympics or in the World Cup, then having played at the World Championship only makes you a better player for international hockey, and it makes you, quite honestly, a better player overall in your development. I don't understand why young players, especially, I understand why the Rob Blakes and the other great veteran players don't play. I mean, because of their age, because of the season, and the commitment that they actually make to their teams all season long. But for the younger players not to play and develop, because it is an opportunity to develop, that one has really amazed me for a number of years, and I don't know why it continues.
And there are some veterans, like the one you mentioned, Rob Blake, who have done their time, so to speak.
No question about
in the
those
past.
players. Absolutely, and I have no problems whatsoever with any of those players turning it down. But you look back over the years, and I just know that the players that have played in the World Championship will tell you that they have become a better hockey player from it. Ask Ryan Smith whether or not he's become a better hockey player. Anson Carter, you can just keep on going. Sean Burke is a goaltender. You see what Danny Heatley said when he was given the opportunity. I'd rather be playing in the National Hockey League playoffs with my team. But since we're not, my first obligation right away is to play for Canada.
Latvia threatening, centering pass, looking for Pantaleev. He couldn't find the handle, and Matthew Dandino's coming back the other way. Dandino with a rush right in front, trying to center it. Ryan Smith was crashing the net. He couldn't find it. It remains in there. Carter. Out it comes. Here's Cross. Gets it to Smith with lots of room. Right in front. Nice stop by Urbe on the redirection by Anson Carter. Good save. He's made quite a few this afternoon.
That was a great play by Ryan Smith, though. I mean, Ryan Smith ended up getting possession of the puck. He had his head up. He faked the shot then. He didn't shoot towards Arthur Urbe. Instead, he faked that shot pass over to Anson Carter for him to direct, knowing full well that Urbe had come out to cut down the angle, thinking that he was going to shoot.
Steve Reinprecht off the face-off, chasing it into the corner. Kept in at the line by Brewer. Sends it back of the net again, where it's rung around the boards. Horkoff meets it near side. Gets it to Steve Reinprecht, dancing out. He's cut off of the pass, but gets it right back. Reinprecht back of the net. Here's Colano, centers in. Who's there? Puck is still loose. But Reinprecht's stick was all tied up. He was robbed earlier by Urbe. Here comes Tambios. Seen a lot of number 14 for Latvia today. Semyonov battling along the near boards. Comes out for Chubars. They get it to Rikas. Here's Semyonov's right in front. He's centered it across the goal mouth. Redless takes a swing of that one, then steps up in against Sean Horkoff.
Brewer's without a stick, too, and so he was just hoping that his teammates could get the puck out of their own end. They finally did. Brewer went back and picked up his stick behind the net.
Full line changes, both sides, fresh legs for Canada and Latvia. 11.5 minutes gone here in the third period.
Canada know that Latvians are just looking for that long bomb opportunity, the long pass. So Canada have really pulled back into the neutral zone and have got 3 men back there most of the time now.
Well, they have not folded their tents, that's for sure. They're still working. Here's Spruce. Giannis Spruce trying to split the middle, dishes it off to the near side. Shirakos wasn't ready for that pass, but he's got it now. Shirakos cuts it in the middle, gets the shot on goal, trying to go short side on Luongo. But the goaltender of the Panthers has got it.
Canada back into more of a defensive mode right now, protecting this 3-goal lead and knowing full well the Latvians are trying to send 2 forwards up high, looking for that opportunity to kind of get back into this hockey game.
They turn it over, however, briefly in their own end. Here comes Heatley. Got Briere with them. Daniel Briere's right in. Scores! Just snuck it through the legs of Arthurs Urbe. And it's 5-1 Canada.
Canada breaking out of their own end, feeding that puck up. And yeah, they only had 2 players up there, but the right 2 players. Daniel Briere has just been outstanding. In this game, in game number 1, his breakaway speed just amazes people. Arthur Urbe has got him right here. He thinks he's got him. But all of a sudden, Briere is able to find some room just to tuck it between the legs of Arthur Urbe, and Briere showing a credible speed. And they were challenging that goal, actually, but the face-off is right back at center ice. The goal does count, and you get an opportunity one more time to see Daniel Briere's goal. He set up a nice goal in today's game. Danny Heatley's, in fact, where he made the pass to Reinprecht. Reinprecht made the pass then to Danny Heatley. Briere, unfortunately, did not get credit for an assist, even though he should have. But Briere has been a solid player here for Canada.
Right into the middle. Latvia right back on the attack. They're playing a high-risk game right now with everybody up, and now so that's why you see rushes like that one right there. Ryan Smith, like a raging bull going towards that net. I'm sure Urbe was thinking, uh-oh.
Well, that was a pretty good description, too, raging bull, because Ryan Smith was bound and determined. He was going to the net all right, but he wanted to get the puck. He ended up getting a piece of the net instead. There you see Daniel Briere's goal one more time. Briere showing his speed, but Ryan Smith actually showed his great speed here, going to the net as Anson Carter, his former teammate, looked to put that puck right on his stick so that Ryan Smith could deflect it in.
Briere, Comrie, Cross, and Heatley with a pair. The goal scorers for Canada. Here Smith gets up, puts a shot on net. They score again. He centered it right in front. And Canada has now blown this one wide open.
What a nifty play by Ryan Smith. That was just a great heads-up play by Smith. You see Anson Carter right there. He ends up getting taken out of the play. Ryan Smith falls. He gets up. Now watch. He had no room to shoot. He just waited for Comrie to come into the area of the crease and tap that puck in. You can see that Comrie had 1 foot in the crease along with his stick, but that's a no harm, no foul because he was the opposite side of the crease to the goaltender. If he had had 2 feet in the crease, then that goal would have been disallowed, regardless if he hadn't have been interfering with Arthur Urbe.
Comrie with his 2nd goal of the game, his 2nd goal of the period, and his 3rd of the tournament, tying Danny Heatley for the team lead. In goal scoring, Sean Horkoff strips his man and starts out with it. He's got Calder here on the near side. Horkoff still with it. Gets it to Kyle Calder, who reaches for it right back in front. Oh, boy, Reinprecht almost scored there. Urbe didn't really know where it was. As Team Canada will not take their foot off the gas here. They're going to continue to press forward in a game that's been blown wide open. It was very tight in the first period. 1-1 and for a long stretch. It looked like Latvia was going to make them earn it, and they have up until now.
And we see Ryan Smith's setup one more time. You can see that he was battling for possession of that puck up against Redlands and then ended up falling, but yet got up and made just a super play.
You've got an interesting story about Comrie, don't you? About how he learned some lessons from last season after they were eliminated from a disappointing 6th place finish.
Well, when he came here to the World Championships, he just told me after it was all over, but he really got his eyes open. He realized what a great tournament this is and what a challenge it was, too, to try to win. You feel like you're a good player in the National Hockey League, and yet you come over here and these players who aren't all in the NHL by any stretch, and especially a team like Latvia, but are good skaters, good puck handlers, and make it difficult for you. They challenge you.
Latvia back over the line. Nashivas trying to gain some ground there, but he's held off by Kirk Maltby. Into the corner it goes for Sorokins. He's got Nishivas in there helping him out. Shane Doan watching both of them. Now Maltby gets it far side where Bouwmeester's got a whole lot of room to work with. Canada's grind line will head to the bench while Bouwmeester fires a high, hard one in off the glass. Briere trying to get it back to the point for Rivet. That was cut off by Cyprus and flipped out.
You know, I go back to that point about Mike Comrie, too, and I referred to Danny Heatley previously in the same kind of way, is that when these two young, great, skillful hockey players are as smart as they are, and they are both very smart players, then they take advantage of these opportunities to learn how to become a better hockey player. And both of them have. And they will continue to be that way, I'm sure.
Canada's got it on a string right now. They're playing tic-tac-toe hockey. All the way up the ice. Pantaleev over the line for Latvia, being hounded from behind by Heatley. He turns back. Gets it near side for Fanduels, who hands it off to Rikas. Puts a backhander in on goal. Luongo has only given up the one goal today. Makes the stop, and Canada gets it back down the other end. Here's Marleau with Smith heading for the net. Ryan Smith, his shot is blocked. He chases it into the corner. Carter meets it. Being watched by Chupras. Here's Carter again. Can't control it, and down it goes where Heward will chase it, and it's going to be icing. 15:46 gone in the third period. Canada in firm control of this one.
Some guys who might wear Canadian colors someday. Air Canada Cup Midget Championship an hour away from puck drop in Sault Ste. Marie. It is Calgary against Collège Antoine Girard coming up at the Air Canada Cup.
Dave, I'll finish off my story with Mike Comrie from last year. He not only played in the tournament, but he also stayed an extra few days to continue watching the tournament when Canada had been eliminated, because he wanted to still see what this tournament and how the finals were really going to come about.
Smith to Carter. Nice stop by Urbe. There's no quit in the little Latvian there. He's made some fantastic stops. Otherwise, it could easily be about 10-1 right now, folks. Steos jumps up from the line, can't get a shot away. The pressure continued by Comrie and Carter and Smith. It will be interesting to see what kind of attention this line gets as this tournament goes on, because it's been dangerous. Under 4 minutes to go. Canada will improve to a 2-0 record here with this win today. And Sweden, barring some kind of disaster on their part, they will win against Belarus very likely tonight, and it'll be a couple of 2-0 teams meeting right here on TSN on Tuesday. It's the prime time game here, 8 o'clock local time. Dandino flips it towards the net. It's wide. Hits the end boards. Heward steps up, keeps it deep. Kolanos is back there with Calder. Battle still back there. Here's Reinprecht. Gets it to Calder. Calder swooping out of the corner, gets it to Kolanos. On his backhand, had it poked away by Yanis Sprooks. There's a long pass to Onkepan into the middle, but he is a little bit behind one of his teammates. It's offside of the line with just over 3 minutes to go in the hockey game.
You know, I think hockey fans expected to see Peter Forsberg, Matthew Dandino, Chris Draper, Kirk Maltby playing hockey in May. They just didn't quite believe that it was going to be hockey. So I should mention Steve Reinprecht in there as well.
Maybe Matt Sundin?
Yeah, they didn't quite expect to see them playing in May, though, in the World Championship. Detroit, without question, a huge surprise, getting beat out, as were the Colorado Avalanche, being another team that people just shaking their heads about, wondering how they were upset. Great teams, big payrolls, and yet losing to the underdog.
But tournament organizers and hockey fans over here are loving this, because they've got Forsberg, they've got Sundin playing together for Sweden. Hayduk's going to go for the Czech Republic.
Timo Solani's here. I mean, they've got a lot of big stars.
There's a lot of big stars for this tournament. And a lot of high hopes for the Finnish team, led by Solani and Koivu. They opened with a win last night, as we told you in our pregame show, in Helsinki. Their next game will be in Tampere, and then they'll round out their preliminary schedule right here in Turku against the Czech Republic.
Steve Stales just couldn't find that puck. He knew that he stopped it. He didn't know whether it was in his pants, his sweater, where it was. I thought for a moment there the official was arguing with him, thinking that maybe he had held it. But he obviously wasn't giving him a penalty for it.
So what do you think, Greener, today compared to yesterday? Obviously the scoreboard tells a dominant story for Canada. Technically, what have you seen from yesterday to today? Good or bad?
Another good goaltending display, because Roberto Luongo has played every bit as strong a game as Sean Burke did yesterday. Not that they were tested. I think, in fact, Roberto Luongo has been tested more today than Sean Burke was yesterday.
No doubt. No question.
As far as the team goes, I like the way that they have started to gel. You look at the way that they've passed the puck today. They've gone to the net more. They've crashed the net. They have been looking for each other in the offensive zone. Those are things that I know Andy Murray and his coaching staff will feel are big positives coming out of today's game, and especially their play in the third period. It's another step forward. And now the big test, because Sweden will have a very good team, and so they will have a pretty good measuring stick on Tuesday night.
Yeah, these first two games, I'm sure not only did they want the results that they're going to get, the 2 wins, but they also wanted to see some strides as they build and head towards qualification and hopefully the middle round.
Well, I like the way that Canada's defensive play, too. They've been good at moving up in the play quickly, joining the offense, and yet have been supportive defensively.
But as I say, it will be interesting to see what other teams, what the other big teams do against this line of Smith and Comrie and Carter to try and neutralize them. Not
You know
to say
something,
that
they don't match lines over here. That's one thing for sure, is that they do not match lines. They could, most European coaches could care less as to who your next line is coming up.
And I don't want to suggest that Canada is a one-line team right now either, but Zambios try to get it back to the line. That failed and came out. 30 seconds to go here in regulation of what will be a big victory for Team Canada. And they'll have a nice day off, perhaps a light skate. Team will get together, do some things in and around Turku tomorrow before they play Sweden on Tuesday. And the Latvian fans giving their air horns one last blast as Horkov breaks right in. There was an offside call at the line, which you can barely hear and hear now.
Well, the clock here is a little funny right now.
It's been like that.
59.7 seconds. That's just in time for a very quick face-off here. 0.3 of a second, I guess, is what they're referring to. And
yeah,
it'll be all over, and Canada will have their 6-1 win.
and there it is. It's in the books. 6-1, Canada beats Latvia, and they improved to 2-0. And we'll look forward to the Swedes on Tuesday as we send you back to TSN Control and Rod Black.
Thank you, Dave, and thank you, Gary, alongside Terry Crisp, as Andy Murray goes to 2-0 with his Canadian team that certainly looked a lot sharper in this game compared to yesterday's game against Belarus, and Roberto Luongo giving up the 1 goal. And how about that Edmonton Oiler connection with Comrie and Smith, and of course the ex-Oiler Anson Carter, but also what a game for Danny Heatley.
Danny Heatley, we talked about him, Rod, earlier in the show, and the youngster just getting better and better. But you mentioned the Edmonton Oiler connection. I know you're throwing it at me, ex-Calgary flame boy. But no, you know what? As your coach, having a setup like that is great to have 3 guys that know each other. You don't have to do anything as a coach. Say, guys, the onus is on you to do some thinking for a change.
Go get the puck, and they did. And there's Anson Carter, player of the game, to be announced.
Who you betting on, Comrie or Heatley? Come on.
You got to think Danny Heatley.
All right, we'll go with the youngsters, see if they give it to him. Now, mind you, Greener would give it to Corey Cross.
Is this, we got a little bet going on this?
We have.
All right, this is for lunch. Latvian fans still in party mode, even in a loss.
I'm almost betting money that Dave and Greener are with them right now.
Yeah, they might be. Hey, you owe me lunch, Crispy.
All right, I got Heatley. I love the way you can twist this, and you're going to make a good coach one day.
Danny Heatley, a couple of goals, now 3 in the tournament, also an assist today. What a game for him. And for Latvia, Leonid Tamdjejev. And Latvia will now move on. Mike Comrie, a couple of goals. Danny Heatley, a couple of goals. Canada wins 6-1. 2 games they were expected to win. They do. And now the next one. And this is really when the tournament begins. They face Sweden on Tuesday. We'll be back with more from the Worlds on TSN. Well, Edmonton fans have a lot to cheer about last couple of days. Ryan Smith, Mike Comrie connecting again. Good day for the Oilers on Team Canada. Good day for Team Canada. 6-1. Artur Zerbe must have felt in that third period like he was at an NHL All-Star game. They were storming the net.
They did exactly what we told them to do, Rob. We said they got to get traffic to the net, get the puck to the net, and do it, and exactly what they did.
If you're just joining us, let's take you back and show you all the highlights of quite an eventful day for Roberto Luongo. He, especially in the first period, Latvians were in full press, but Danny Heatley scored first to open things up on the power play. 1-0 Canada. Then the Latvians, Sergei Shubars finds the back of the net. It's 1-1, close hockey game. But then Corey Cross just came over, just got here a day ago. Wrap around by Cross, and you cannot talk more about Cross's help in this game. And also Steve Reinprecht, the 2 additions. Danny Heatley to tip in on that Cross marker. And speaking of Cross, how about this Cross ice pass? You like this goal?
And this is the one that broke their back right there. Comrie just redirected that one. Latvia, as you recall, Rod, had been coming on strong. That really took the stuffings right out of them.
Daniel Barrera made it 5-1. Then Ryan Smith, little hook pass in front to Mike Comrie, his second goal of the game. 6-1 to Canada. Now 2-0 in their pool, as expected. Games they had to win against and teams they had to beat. And you kind of said that these are teams that kind of scare you a little bit.
They scare you. You know what? This is when the coaching staff say, thank goodness he's behind you, because you're supposed to win them. Yes, you should win them, and you have to get your team prepped. Now, when you start playing teams like, let's say, Sweden, Finland, etc., you don't have to say a whole lot. You know what you're up against, what they're going to do. These ones behind you, now the coaching staff can start to enjoy the hockey.
The win was in the bag in the third period, and then they start going at the Latvians still. And people got to keep in mind that goals for mean a lot. There's no point. You can run up the score, but you also have to get everybody together. That's one thing. I mean, these guys are still getting used to playing with each other, with the exception of those 3 Oiler guys.
And it's so easy to get off your system when you start to run the scoreboard up. And as you mentioned, the tiebreakers, yeah, the goals for and against differential are 1, and the goals for. So it's not really running up the score. It's just sort of not hedging your bet, covering it.
So now they play against Sweden on Tuesday. Matt Sundin will be playing for Sweden. He's not playing against Belarus later today. He just got to Finland. Peter Forsberg will be in the lineup. This is going to be a tough game against Sweden.
You know, it's going to be a tough game, but I know that the guys, they have to like playing these hockey clubs simply because when they go down the roster, now they're looking at guys like you said, NHLers that they know that they say, hey, either we get it in gear or we get kicked all over the ice. So there's not a great big hoopla about getting prepared for it. They better be ready.
Sean Burke back in the net on Tuesday?
Automatic. Sean Burke, they've already declared he's their #1 goaltender. In big games, run with him. Don't fool around.
All right, Canada wins 6-1, now 2-0 in its pool. Sweden also should be 2-0. They play Belarus later today, unless the Belarusians pull off an upset like they did before. Germany beats Japan. Japan coming back in that game, 5-4, only a 1-goal victory for the Germans. And the big shocker today again, the United States losing to Switzerland a day after being stunned by Denmark 5-2. Switzerland beats the United States 1-0. They are one loss away from being relegated and will have to try to fight their way back to Group 1 for the next Worlds. Can you believe this? 0-2 Team USA, and they now play against Russia on Tuesday. It will be a must-win situation for Team USA against Russia. Wow.
Do you think Russia would love to put the coup de grace to the U.S. and relegate them down to where they have to go back and reapply all over again?
Well, who knows? I mean, that's the 5-2 win by Denmark was something. Denmark does play against Russia, so maybe the Danes have another miracle.
You're loving this Dane team, aren't you? You really like Denmark.
I like the underdogs.
I like it. It's okay.
The favorites win. Canada wins again. 2-0 now at the Worlds. As we'll be back in just a moment on TSN. So Canada's now 2-0, and a lot of the young guys doing the scoring. The 22-year-olds like Comrie and Heatley today. Danielle Briere also a goal in that third period. Mike Comrie 2 in that third stanza. 6-1 Canada over Latvia. How about that?
Hey, you were mentioning, I like the you call them the baby patrol, the diaper kids over there. Canada has got a young team over there, which bodes well for the future. Interesting to see that all these youngsters are doing well in international competition.
They'd like to also be in the Stanley Cup playoffs, but it's nice to be representing your country and going for gold, like the player of the game who is standing beside Dave Randorf.
Thanks, guys. 6 goals for Team Canada today against Latvia. 2 of them by this big boy standing beside me, Danny Heatley, who's off to a nice start at this tournament. What'd you see from your team today from yesterday's win over Belarus?
I think we wanted to come into this tournament and start off well, and I think we have. I think we took a step forward tonight against Latvia. I think we played pretty strong for the whole game, and we got the 4 points which we needed, and now we got a big game on Tuesday against Sweden.
3 goals for you personally. You had 2 in the tournament last season. You must be feeling pretty good about your start.
Yeah, we got good chemistry going with Breezer and Patty over there, so it's been good these first couple games, and hopefully we can keep it going on Tuesday.
You're playing on a line with Daniel Briere and Patrick Marleau. So how do you work on chemistry real quick to get up and running here in this tournament?
I think just time and time playing with your guys in practice, getting to know their tendencies, and I think most of the guys are used to it with a lot of line juggling back home. So I think guys are used to it in a couple days, 2-3 practices, and I think you're good to go.
Well, it's been good to go so far. You're 2-0 heading into the game against Sweden on Tuesday. Enjoy the day off, and we'll talk to you then.
Thank you.
Back to you guys.
Heatley pots a pair, Comrie pots a pair. The Canadian flag is raised in Turku, Finland again. Canada wins 6-1.